I have prepared the canvas with some liquid white, and I don't use just a ton of this stuff. When I touch the canvas, I want to get just a little bit of an imprint of that white on my finger. No full coverage. One of the biggest problems I see beginners have is too much of the liquid white. And once you start with painting too wet, then you're in trouble all the way through it. I'm going to go through the colors that I'm using today, and I don't pull all the colors out on the palette. I put out the ones that I'm going to use. I've got white, titanium white, Prussian blue, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, and I use cadmium orange. It's a bought color. You can mix it just as easily with alizarin crimson and cadmium yellow. I just find it easier to squirt it out of the tube and be done with it. So we're going to start here. I'm going to put a little bit extra white where in the sky I want my light area. Right over in here. And I'm just going to lay a little bit extra in there. Give it a little more to mix. Okay, I'm not going to clean the brush. I'm just knocking it out on the paper towel because we're always battling getting things too wet. So, you know, the person that cleans his brush every time is introducing wetness to the canvas every time. So I just wipe mine out on a paper towel, come up and grab another color. First color, I think I'm going to use cadmium yellow, throw it right on top of that white. I'll tap into the brush so I don't get dark streaks, and I'm going to go around that area in the sky where I put the extra white. Then I'm going to go over it just a little bit, and I can spread it anywhere. It really doesn't make any difference. I'm going to then go to maybe just a little bit of cadmium orange. Striking again so it doesn't come on too strong. I'm going to come around that area. I'm not going to cover up all my yellow. But I'm just going to wipe it around, blend it to where we don't have sudden changes in color. Then I'm going to go to alizarin crimson. All on the same spot. I don't care if those colors mix, they're going to mix on the canvas anyway. Strike in the crimson, and on the outside of that, we'll give it a little deeper crimson color. Mix them up real good. Maybe I'll make that come on a little bit stronger. Okay, outside of that, I'm going to come in with a little bit of dark sienna. Right on the same spot. I don't have to have it all perfectly clean. Those colors work fine together. I'm going to go up here to the corner, get a much darker, browner color up in there, across the top, down the side. Work it into those other colors. Then I think I'm just going to come in with a little bit of Van Dyke brown. I'm not going to put it on the same colors because I want some more darkness, particularly in the corners and down the left side. I'm going to come up here in the corner, much darker, very neutral. That corner. Yeah, that's what I want. darkness in there. Right across the top. Well, I've got all those colors up there, and it's making for a pretty nice little sky. You can make it different. It doesn't matter. We can, in fact, I think I want to see more crimson in there. So I'm just going to throw some down here and throw more crimson up there. They can make for a brighter, more intense painting. And blend it out on the edges. I got a little in there, that's okay, doesn't make any difference. I just like the crimson, it's a great color. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we're going to go with, I'll kind of push some of the stuff to the side. May use it later. I'll just combine it. Use with some dark sienna, some white. I've got a real kind of brownish color. There's a lot of white in it. Because I'm about to make some distant hills way off on the horizon. And I can use really any brush. I think I'll just use a 2-inch since I've got it here handy. But down here, a little below halfway. Let's make it a little bit stronger. Don't want it too strong though. So there is a distant little island way off back in the background. Trees all over, way off in the distance, barely can see it. Let's pull it down a little bit, pull it across so it'll be reflections in the water. Now, let's go with another little spot of land. I want it slightly more intense, it's slightly closer. A little more dark sienna. Since I'm just striking down, I'm just striking into paint. But this one's going to come right in here. Right down. I can lift up to give the indication of little trees off in the distance. Again, I'm going to pull down, pull across. Let's go ahead and put just a little bit of a water line. I don't think I want it pure white. Put it on both those. Pick up a little bit of dark sienna, but very light. I'm going to come across here and touch. So there's a little bit of water line there. And a little bit of water line on this one. So there, we've got 2 chunks of land in just a few minutes. Now, I need a bigger mountain. And it's going to have to be a little darker and more intense. I'm going to take this Van Dyke Brown, or this dark sienna that I'm using right here. I'll add some Van Dyke Brown to it. I'll really darken it up in a hurry. Be sure I've got enough. There's more Van Dyke Brown, a little bit more dark sienna. So that should be good. My next area of land. Big hill. Change paper towels here. So I'm going to touch in this. Just pull my paintbrush across, get plenty on it. And since this is a little closer, it's also a little lower on the canvas. We'll come right in here, we'll touch. And this is a big, steep hill. More Van Dyke and brown involved. Strike down. I can lift up to indicate bigger trees. Straight up. Pulling a little harder now, so these streaks are a little bit taller. I'm going to clean the brush a little bit, strike around in here, that brings some liquid white up, and really prepare the canvas for more paint. I'm going to pull this down. I don't know whether I need it or not. Right out on the end. I know I won't need it further from the edge. And again, I'm going to take a little bit of white and dark sienna and put a water line in here, way off in the distance. Next, I'm going to go to a more intense color. I'm going to grab this alizarin crimson and throw it up in with these brown colors and see what that looks like. We need more brown. Van Dyke brown, that is. The dark stuff. The Bob Ross paints are formulated where particular colors are base colors. And we need to be sure that in the base we use mostly Van Dyke brown. The other colors may be formulated to stick to the Van Dyke brown. Hold just a minute. Got to get some more brushes. I didn't have them all out. I'm going to go with the fan brush. And I think I'll start. I think Bob kind of combines them together. I'm going to make another little point of land actually. I'll come right up in here. And just smear it a little bit. And then we'll get some little evergreen trees. There's one. And like Bob said, the evergreen tree really lives in this brush. You just load it and start striking harder and harder as you go down the center. There's a little one here. Another bigger one right here. Well, this is way off in the distance. I don't think, I'm not sure, maybe some of them will show up as reflections in the water, so let's just put a little paint down there and make sure they do. So now I'm going to take that same old dirty big brush, wipe it out just a little bit, and pull down, 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 and across. I need to get a little bit more color down in the water, so I'm going to go back to, let's go with yellow ochre. I'm going to use the same old dirty brush, combination yellow ochre and cadmium yellow. And I'm going to come down in here and work some nice color down in there. Maybe I'll go to a little crimson and with it work that outside it. You see that I'm pulling horizontally across the canvas. And that's because the surface of water is flat. And I can't pull that vertically and have it appear flat on the canvas. And pull it down, just blend it a little bit. Get a kind of reflective look in it. Do that several times. Kind of like that color. I'm going to force a little back there. Nobody will know but me and you. Nice, 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 nice. So I can kind of clean my brush up over here. It'll be covered up anyway. So now I'm going to some even bigger evergreen trees. And they're closer up. So I need to intensify the color. Maybe I'll put in some waterline right there before I do that. Right there. There it is. Okay. Next, as I say, I'm going to some even bigger evergreen trees. I'm going to take a pretty good gob of Van Dyke Brown. Right on top of that last dark color I had. That Van Dyke Brown is going to make it even darker. And it needs to be, because it's getting nearer to the viewer. So, let's see if I've got enough here. That's borderline. Let's get some more. Throw a little bit of dark cyan with it. Maybe that'll be enough. So I'm going to grab that same old dirty fan brush. And this time I think I'll just imagine a little bit of land coming right across here. And I'll throw a couple really big evergreens in this. Big compared to the other ones. I like to make the whole tree. Bob usually just started at the top and came down. I like to make the whole thing. And that way I don't have any blank spots in the center of the canvas. Well, there's a nice big dark evergreen tree. I like that pretty good, but I'm going to throw some alizarin crimson in it for the next one. So we can get away with a lot of variation in the color as long as we stay in a reasonably good color group. That is two colors, one color. So here we go. Let's do another big evergreen. Maybe I'll do him a little bit smaller right in here. That's much redder. That's cool. I like it. Maybe I'll do the same thing with him. Go right back over. Get more of that red color in there. I'll come up and do a really nice big one along the edge. More paint. I'm going to put a top or two right in here. Just as long as I can see a lot of light coming through there. That's all I've got to have. I'll scratch a little bit of trunks. Maybe even go back and put a little bit of some of those way off in the distance. Okay, we've got some buildings and a boat and just all kinds of things happening. So, I'm going to start. Let's get out here toward the end of this. Maybe I'll push some of that up so it'll look a little more grown up in there. But I've got some little buildings put in. Use a lot of Van Dyke brown. And let's just say the first one is right here. Now all I'm doing is making a block. These buildings sit on the water. They're boat sheds and such. So I've made a block. I can put a dot right there. Make a roof. Here, and really that's all I need. I don't need to see a lot of detail in these things. So I can take some white and let's say dark sienna and indicate a little slope roof. A little white. See it a little brighter. Well, that's all I need to have to indicate a building right there. Pull some of this paint down so it'll have a reflection. We'll go ahead and work it. So there it is. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't have to be extremely detailed. Chop a little bit of that roof off. We maybe need another one. Tell you what, just for the fun of it, I'm gonna highlight a portion of it right there. So there's my building. All it's got to be. We'll do another one. Really close to that one. I'll sit slightly lower, so it's slightly closer and bigger. Again, all it is a square. Indicate a little roof. These buildings are so simple, I really don't have to draw them out. That's a good design there. Take some that same color for the roof. And since it's the width of the knife blade, I'll just bring it down through there. Had one of those happy little accidents. Just take my knife and take it off. Make it go away. Okay, I want to bring down some reflections in the water. I want to highlight. Highlight the right side of these things just a little bit. So that we get a better picture of what they are. And I've got a clean 1-inch brush. I'm just going to take it, pull that reflection across. Now these buildings are out in the water. So what I'm going to do to kind of drive home that fact, I'm going to put some little legs for the building to stand on. I'm going to take some Van Dyke Brown. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy, but short edge of the knife. And little legs for the building to stand on. Not a super detailed painting. What shows up about this painting is the colors. The colors are great. Nothing has to be perfect. So just to make them. And then I'm going to pull this post down in the water a little bit. So we've got buildings sitting on the water. Maybe they're boathouses. I don't know. And we got one that's considerably larger. It's oriented differently. I'm going to grab a little bit more Van Dyke Brown. I didn't put quite enough on my palette. And take my trusty knife, and the knife is the hardest tool to use, but once you master it, it is easily the tool that creates the most interesting shapes and designs. You can do so much with it. You need to master the knife. Scrape it out this time. This is a little bigger building. Maybe I'll draw a little bit with the edge of the knife. There's the peak of the A. There's the slide. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. This is a sketch. Now if I were making that roof to slope down just a little bit, it comes right back here, just like that. This. And that'll be good enough. All I've got to do is a little bit of highlight. And we've got another building. Let's see. We use white. Maybe all those browns that were messed up earlier. It's got a lot of alizarin in it. Should make an interesting highlight. Get a little on my knife. We'll come over here. And pull it down. Match the angle. Pull it down over here. We've got some interesting shapes, but we really haven't done much work. I always like a really bright, maybe I'll put a little bit of a line to indicate the outside of that A right there. That kind of makes it. And kind of can't help myself. Got to have a red roof on some of these things. So some white, alizarin crimson, and get some red on there. Okay, so that's good enough. I can actually I can make kind of a door here. Maybe drive the boat up in there. And I need to darken it because it doesn't show up right now. Grab a little Van Dyke brown on the short edge of the knife and wipe it right in for the door. A bit more. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I've got a doorway there. You know, if we want to put a little bit more detail in it, I can take some white or some dirty white, let's say, and run it right along this right edge of that door. This is one of my favorite paintings. Right down through there, that'll be good. Now, I don't have any reflections to speak of under here, so I'm going to take some of the paint that's on my fan brush. I'm making trees earlier, and I'm just going to darken in underneath, and maybe I'll even do some more. That's big trees and hills and things behind there. So we've got something reasonable for reflections. Take my old big dirty 2-inch brush. Notice one thing. Since we started this painting, I have not washed a single brush. And keep that in mind. That may help you more than anything else. Is do not wash those brushes very often because you introduce more wetness to the canvas. So now I can, maybe we'll put a few feet, a few posts on that one. Set him in the edge of the water. A little short one. He kind of up in the corner. Bit long. Not stuck with anything. Just wipe the bottom across. So now we've got most of the painting done. We've got a little bit of foreground stuff and just Van Dyke brown. I'll throw a little bit of dark sienna in it. Mostly Van Dyke brown, dark sienna. And we'll come down through here and put some land in there. Doesn't really matter how we put it on there as long as we get it dark. Not on this first layer. Throw some weeds, some grass, stuff down there. So, now we've got a little area of land. I'm going to do a little bit of highlight on it. Now, highlight's when you have to start actually washing the brushes. I'm not going to do a whole lot of highlight. I'm going to shoot myself a little bit more alizarin grimmer. because that alizarin is kind of basic in this painting. So I'm going to take some white. Now we'll start with yellow ochre. And I don't want to get this stuff too bright down here because really the focal area of the painting is here, these hills, these evergreen trees. Get some crimson down in there. Involve some of these brushes in here. You got to feel free to experiment with this stuff. Can't just try to mimic, say what Bob Ross did or what I do. Get out and do your own thing. Look at it and say, hey, this odd color might look good right here. And then use it. Okay, we got a fence, a couple of ropes. I think I'll use a liner brush. I'll finally get around to opening the printer bucket. Although I paint right-handed, I'm actually left-handed. So don't be surprised if you see the liner brush jump over to my left hand on occasion. So we can, here, I can put some more posts out here in the water. I can put some bigger ones up here on land. I don't want it to interfere with my building, so maybe right there. Maybe another one stand out right in this big bright spot. And a couple more. Kind of rough old posts. Put some, I don't know, old ropes on it. Some of them sag way down. That one just falls off on the ground. Put a few more on there. They look good. They're old, been around a long time. Put a little bit up there. And I can take any brush. I think I'll just take this old dirty fan brush and use the corner of it to drag it down. Maybe there's some mossy type growth. Now the thing about this is whatever you're doing, pull it straight down. Doesn't matter which way the brush is turned. Pull that dude straight down. Because when you angle it off, you're defying gravity, and that just doesn't work. Okay, I've got to go back to my highlight brush. Maybe I'll pick up a little bit of bright yellow. Don't want to come on too strong with that. Set those posts in the ground where they should be. A little more crimson. A little more ochre. I don't want to get this too bright down here. have it draw away from where you're supposed to be looking. We can get a little orange. Pick up some of that sky color. I'm going to have a little more of that orange down there. Touch a little orange back here. I don't want to go there with it. There's one last little thing that Bob has in his. Maybe I'll put another detail or two in these buildings. That window. Another. Another. He has a fishing boat sitting out at the end of some of that land. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy. It can be. Just a little shape. Have a cabin, control station or something. Maybe a tall post or two. I'll put this in my left hand, so I'm a little more confident with that. That's a perfect boat. There's no problem with that boat. I'm going to put a dot or two of white on it just to bring it out. There we go. That's a great boat. I did want to put a little water line at the base of it. And maybe a couple of lines out in the water. Just to say I'm a little ripple here. I'm water. So I'm going to step back just a little bit and see what else I want to do to it. Maybe iron brush still in the left hand. Maybe a little white dot at the top of each one of the posts. And that's a quick version of Bob's Fisherman's Paradise. I don't claim to be as good as Bob. I do claim to do my own thing sometimes. I tell you what. Let's see. Maybe there is an bird or two floating up here in the sky. I'll take it. Right there. Right there. Now we'll do one there. I give it a little bit of life. I'm gonna sign it, say it's done. So this is my first attempt at recording anything and posting. This may work and may not. We'll call it experiment number 1. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get you some Bob Ross stuff and do a little painting yourself. Right now, while we're all stuck inside, a good time. More little details. You can detail these things until the cows come home, as they say. Ain't a lot of detail, but you can't put the detail in that God did. So, just do the best you can. Little white dots and imitate that cord rope. Hope you have enjoyed it. I always enjoyed dragging out my paint, my brushes, and stirring some up, putting a little color on a canvas. As far as paints go, you need to, if you're going to try to do this, you really need to invest in Bob Ross paints and equipment, because they're designed to do this. They're going to do this very well. Where some other things might work and they might not. It is an investment. Those brushes last a long time. Again, my name is David Harris, and I'm a certified Bob Ross instructor. I've been doing this for many, many years. I again hope you have enjoyed it, and we're going to sign off from Fisherman's Paradise.